Welcome and welcome back, Fromily. I'm B, and today I'm recapping from season 3, episode 6. Let's get into it. So, we start off with Jim and Tabitha. Tabitha can't sleep because she had a nightmare and she feels like she could have done more when she was in the real world. And I still want to know what could she have done. I don't know, maybe she didn't freak out in the car with Henry when she found the bracelet. They could have made it to the bottle tree in the park and got some answers, but I don't know if that's true. I think that she was always going to end back in Fromville. So Jim is telling her she did the best that she could, but Tabitha is not trying to hear that. She doesn't understand why he keeps saying that. And I'm like, you don't understand why your husband is trying to comfort you? I don't like Jim, but I don't see anything wrong with him saying that she did the best that she could. Jim is like, I'm not going to pick you apart. And Tabitha says that she just wants him to be honest. Now, Jim lost me when he said that he held the children together when she ran off because, baby, you did not. You was barely watching them children. Fake ass Thomas had to call your ass and say to you, look to your children, like Elzora told Moselle and Eve's Bayou. Look to your children. And you could barely handle doing that. Anyway, Jim is like, you wanted a divorce because you run away from your problems and didn't want to deal after Thomas died. And Tabitha was saying that she had no choice but to deal with it on her own because Jim threw himself into his work instead of being there for his family. And I can totally see him doing that. Now, Tabitha said that she had to comfort the children while he was emotionally MIA, but I'm going to call bullshit on that because Julie said that she was the one that had to care for Ethan while the both of them were emotionally unavailable. Now, in this scene, I wonder if it was improvised. It was given improvised to me, especially when Tabitha smacked Jim's hand away. So it's morning now. Tabitha tells Julie that Jim went to the lake to get the rest of the food. And Julie's like, so we're just taking trips out to the lake now? Julie's not dumb. She knows that Jim volunteered to go to the lake to get away from Tabitha after that argument. Meanwhile, Jade is in the bar with Boyd trying to figure everything out. Boyd was a little too disinterested at first for me. Then Boyd had the nerve to ask if he looked at the bottles from the other tree. Did you tell him about the other tree before now? No, you didn't because y'all don't communicate anything. Anyway, Boyd tells him that one of the bottles had a piece of paper that said 1864, and I'm hoping there's a reason that they focused on the 1864 date. The Civil War was still happening in 1864, and Jade did see a Civil War soldier as one of his hallucinations. So I hope that means something and is going to be revealed by the end of the season. In the next scene, Victor is preparing to go into the cave to get Jasper. He believes Jasper has the answers, and Henry wants to tag along, and Victor eventually lets him. Also, we see that everyone's checking in on Kenny. His go to answer is, I'm good. But we know that he's not good because how can he be when he recently experienced the death of two parents in a short span? That is something that's really rough. So of course he's not going to be good, but he's trying to keep a brave face. So Boyd is still feeling guilty about Randall. That's why he keeps checking in on him in the clinic. And Christy tells Boyd about the ultrasound so that Fatima can see her little nugget, as she said. And I'm going to get to that scene real soon. So Boyd is on his way to Colony House. Ellis is telling Fatima that they should tell Christy about her nasty cravings, but Fatima doesn't want to. She knows good and well that something isn't right, and that's why she wants to keep this a secret. And then in the next scene, we see Donna at the pool with some rocks, and she's going to use the rocks to cover up Dale to give him some dignity. She and Tabitha have a nice talk, and then we see Victor and Henry about to enter the cave to find Jasper. Ellis and Fatima finally tell Boyd about Fatima's cravings, and Fatima does not want to get an ultrasound. Again, Fatima knows that there is something very wrong, but instead of getting help, she just wants to hide everything. I'm glad that she finally got that ultrasound, which we are going to talk about really soon. So back at the clinic, Mariel is checking on Randall, and let me tell you something. Randall is so nasty, is so rude, talking about the F do you want. Mariel has done absolutely nothing to Randall to deserve him talking to her like that. And, she's better than me because I would have been like, okay, fine. That's your choice to refuse medical attention. We ain't in the real world, so I have no obligation to treat your rude ass. All right, so Kenny is looking for his mother's screwdriver, which Jim probably moved. That's what Julie said. And he finds Julie smoking weed, and she's not doing a very good job of hiding that she's smoking all out in the open so everyone can see her. So I don't know why she's even trying to hide this at this point. And then Kenny goes to Donna to ask to stay at Colony House. And I think that he's sick of living with the Matthews. I know I would be. So Donna says, of course, he's always welcome to be at the Colony House, so he's going to move there. So back to Victor and Henry in the cave. It seems like the monsters moved all the stuff to another location, which they eventually find. And then they get Jasper, who is sitting up at a table. And Victor's able to get him. And one of the monsters is in human form and tells Victor, "You keep messing around, and one of these days we're going to keep you down here." And Victor and Henry are able to escape. At Colony House, Elgin is taking pictures of everyone to make a collage. He takes a picture of Fatima when she's about to leave the house, and Fatima meets with Ellis and Boyd to go to the clinic. She doesn't want to tell Christy about eating rotten food as yet. So Jade is at the other bottle tree when he sees a hallucination of Tom, the bartender. And it was good to see Tom. I liked him, and it was sad that he had to die. So Tom says that nature has a design, but the bottle tree is not nature. And it seems like Ghost Tom is trying to dissuade Jade from searching for answers. But then again, he did give him some advice to sober up and be the multimillionaire that started up his company. So I'm kind of, so on whether these ghosts are, good or bad or, what their purpose is. It's yet to be seen. So in the next scene, we have Tabitha and Ethan. Tabitha hears sounds upstairs. When she goes to investigate, she sees the Angui children. So she and Ethan run out of the house to Jade, and he tells her about the second bottle. And we learn that both trees have the same numbers, except that the other ones are written in cursive. At the clinic, Randall is still being rude to Marielle. He wants to know why she's pretending like everything is okay, and he's mad because she gets to pretend that everything is okay while he's out in the bus. But Randall put himself in that position to be in the bus by being the asshole he was when he was at Colony House. So Marielle decides to invite him to stay at the clinic, and I was thinking, isn't she nice to do that? Because I would have left them out in the bus. With him being rude and having that attitude, I would have left him out in the bus. But she was nice, and so she invited him to stay, and he accepted. So Randall gets his stuff from the bus and he runs into Julie. They have a nice little chat and she offers him some weed. Victor and Henry go to Victor's hiding place. He used to hide there before the people came, and Victor said that he heard Jasper tell Christopher a story about Fromville. So it had to be one of the entities that are talking through Jasper. My question is this a good entity or is it a bad entity that was talking through Jasper? I guess we'll see. All right, so the scene we've all been waiting for. Fatima is getting her ultrasound. We find out that Fatima is not pregnant, or at least it's not showing up on the ultrasound. And Fatima's like, that's not possible. And I'm like, how though, when you're the one who said that you couldn't get pregnant? So she's adamant that there's something inside of her. And if there is, it's definitely not a baby. So I knew it. I knew that she wasn't pregnant, or at least I was starting to believe that she wasn't pregnant. And so I think that she's turning into a monster. And in the next scene, Elgin is checking the pictures he took and he checks the one of Fatima. And the kimono lady shows up in the picture and then materializes saying, "Help me, Elgin. I can save you. I can save all of you. I can help you go back home." Now, I've been thinking that the kimono lady is Fatima, but I'm not so sure. I wish Elgin would talk to someone about his damn visions. He told Julie, but he needs to tell other people, important people, like maybe Jade. So in the final scene, we learned that Tabitha had nightmares from Fromville when she was a child, specifically about the lake where the totems are and the three red stones. So was Tabitha in Fromville before, or are these legit visions that she was just having? So I don't know. We'll see. What do y'all think? What did you think of this episode? Do you think that Fatima is turning into a monster? Is she also the kimono lady? What do you think is going on with Tabitha? Were these actual visions? Was she there before? Let me know your thoughts and your theories in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more horror content.